Ms. Heron, don't.
Yes.
Now's not the time. Good morning, Miss. Is it Haran?
It's Aaron.
Heron? Ms. Heron, you're charged with interference with the duties of a public servant. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge. This one was a 2B. On September 28th, 2024, a law enforcement officer was dispatched to a family disturbance at a residence in Harris County, Texas. The caller reported she observed the couple arguing in a truck, children crying, and heard a loud bang as if someone got struck in the head. The law enforcement officer observed the truck with one functioning headlight, matching the description that was given him regarding the truck. The law enforcement officer observed a juvenile outside of the truck with red puffy eyes. The law enforcement officer made contact with defendant 1, Ms. Heron, and defendant 2. The defendant stated there was no altercation or arguments that occurred and that the law enforcement officer was talking to the wrong people and that they were okay. The law enforcement observed an odor of marijuana. The defendant's vehicle was sitting outside of a random residence at night, and the defendant stated the vehicle belonged to a friend.
Which defendant? Who?
I just said the defendant stated the vehicle belonged to a friend, and then there's defendant 1, which is referring to Ms. Heron for the next sentence. Ms. Heron refused to ID herself and stated she was going inside of the house. The law enforcement officer told defendant 1, Ms. Heron, to stay put until the conclusion of the domestic violence investigation. Defendant 2 exited the vehicle, stated, "No, I am not," when advised, and he was detained and pulled up his pants before getting in a bladed stance. The law enforcement officer grabbed the defendant 2's right wrist. Defendant 2 pulled away. The law enforcement officer grabbed defendant 2's shirt, telling him to stop as they fell to the ground. The defendant 1, Ms. Heron, pulled the law enforcement officer's arm and pushed the law enforcement officer's chest, preventing the law enforcement officer from restraining defendant 2. The law enforcement officer took out an electrical conducted weapon, told defendant 1 to get out of the way, Ms. Heron, and defendant 1 continued to refuse and push law enforcement officer's chest. Ms. Heron ID'd herself with her name and date of birth, which was confirmed with the Texas driver's license.
Ms. Heron, don't.
Yes.
Now's not the time. I've got a bunch of DAs here. Whatever you say, they're going to use it against you. You will have the opportunity to fight your case. Just now's not the time. I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, ma'am?
I don't.
Okay, we can have you fill out an application. I'll take a look to see whether you qualify. I need to know everything about you, how much money you make, what kind of job you have, and then we'll take a look to see whether you qualify. I see that the co-defendant in this case has a valid warrant for his arrest. I think that there's still a warrant open for his arrest. Also on a felony warrant as well. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the co-defendant in this case. You understand? If you do, I'm going to put you in jail. No more PR bonds for you. Do you understand? Okay. So Deputy Miranda is going to give you an application. I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset, and then we'll have you take your seat in the jury box while you fill it out. Okay? Please. Can you file? Hey, if you can file no contact with the co-defendant, please.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Okay.